Well, it's all over, and all the damage is done. We pushed for a settlement just to get this all to go away. Notably because we didn't want to go to court. Asher asked for a ridiculous number to settle and absolutely would not budge. That told me all I needed to know. He wasn't doing this for money, he was doing this for revenge and to embarrass us. There was no way any sane judge was going to rule in favor of the other man. I was right about that. The court case itself was rather short, all things considered. His lawyer presented their case. It was such a bullshit argument. He attempted to completely paint Olivia as some sort of manipulative dominatrix or something. Like she was trying to keep him as some sort of sex slave. They implied that she was purposely keeping him from advancing in his career even though they had no evidence of this, and he was offered a promotion that he turned down. Reed Bomer countered easily. It was obvious from their early messages that he pursued her and that she had made it known that she was married. Even though she did go along with the affair, he got nothing from the judge. The judge ruled in our favor and Asher went home with nothing. I guess the judge got to set the precedent on this one. Even though Asher lost the court battle, it appears he may have won the war. Weeks leading up to the case, the details ended up in the media. It started off just local, but soon progressed to national media. It was just so goddamn preposterous of a case, of course it got national coverage. I have probably read every article on our case from just about every news outlet. The comments are always brutal. It seems most people have landed on the nickname, the Cuck of Oak Creek. It's just so embarrassing. I can get over the affair and still love my wife, but being known as that is just too much. I haven't been out in weeks. I stopped going to Wednesday D&D, friends have called to offer support, but I can't answer the phone. I will respond to texts, but have no desire to actually socialize. My parents, my family also know now. My dad has no sympathy, and keeps giving me unsolicited advice. I finally just blocked him the 5th time he told me I should have divorced the first time she texted another guy. That shit is just not helpful at all. Even if it was, I don't have a fucking time machine. Olivia had to resign from her job. They would have fired if she hadn't. We didn't need her income, but I know she is upset. She liked working there. Asher had left shortly after their affair ended, so that hadn't been an issue. She feels terrible, but unlike before I have no energy to console her. I am far too hurt myself. There was a noticeable rift at home soon as we got past the pleadings phase. She was trying to make up for it, but was back to being a mess, even worse than after the affair ended. I just did not have it in me to be her rock. Our intimacy suffered hard as both of us had a lot of internal conflict. This led to some pretty heated arguments. At one point she even implied that the affair was my fault. She quickly tried to backtrack on that statement. I know she said it out of anxiety, but it still stung me pretty hard. I may not be the best guy in the world, and I especially wasn't then, but to imply that it was my fault was too far. I think we both hoped that the weeks after the case was over and the media spotlight gone, we would recover. That has not held true. If anything, we seem to be trapped in this frigid awkwardness in our own home. I can't forgive, and I know it stems from my own embarrassment. I didn't ask for this, she chose to cheat, and if she just would have owned it and left me, and not tried to be a fucking cake eater, I would at least still have my dignity. I applied for and got a job in Hartford, Connecticut. I am moving. My employer, I'm sure, appreciates that. Once my identity got out, our social media responses started getting spammed with idiots making jokes at my expense. I also had Olivia serve divorce papers. It seems our marriage was strong enough to survive infidelity but wasn't strong enough to survive this. She has been begging me to reconsider. I was willing to listen to her until she tried to sell me on staying here in Oak Creek. I can't, I have to leave Milwaukee, I have to leave Wisconsin. I'll go be the only Bucks fan in Connecticut. I'm just giving her the house, I don't want it. She can sell it and we will call that alimony. I'm sure she will land on her feet when she is ready to make the effort. She still has her mom and sister, which is where she has been staying since I served her. I feel really terrible about all of this, but I know I can't go back, and I can't stay here. I start my new job in 2 weeks. I've got an apartment lined up and I'll make the trip a week early. I hate that it all ended like this. I do know one thing. If I ever have even the slightest chance to fuck over Asher Bigelow, I will do it. I will go out of my way to do it. He has made an enemy for life, and I will not be forgetting or forgiving ever.